The Sports Scouting Report with Lee Brecheen. Brought to you by Medine's Collision Center in Baton Rouge. Take control, choose Medine's. Grosse Savant Lodge, south of Lake Charles, the true sportsman's paradise. Treads and Care Company in Central, the tires you need, the service you want. Harvey Auto in Shreveport, Bossier City, the name you have trusted for years. And Gage in Baton Rouge. Get better connected with Gage. Here's your host, Lee Brecheen.
Welcome to the show, Sports Scouting Report. I'm your host, Lee Brecheen. Our guest early this morning in Texas is Louisiana's own Blake Shapen. If you don't know who Blake Shapen is, he's a quarterback that went to high school in Shreveport, Louisiana at Evangel Christian and was a heck of a quarterback at Evangel. Did some great things. We're going to talk about his recruiting, how he was a sleeper quarterback, which shouldn't have happened. You were a big-time quarterback. We had you on the show your senior year, and we're going to talk about how that story, you went and visited USC Trojans, late minute, Baylor, obviously where you're at now, Baylor in Waco. We're going to talk about the last season and the adversity that you've hung in, and you won the job, and now you're the guy full-time going into this 22 season at Baylor. And talk about your background. A lot of people don't know, and I guess we can start with this, Blake, that your dad and your family is originally from California.
Yeah.
Tell everybody what part of California your family's from.
Well, my dad's actually from California. My mom was originally from Shreveport. But my dad grew up in Long Beach and California, and so he grew up out there. And then my mom was originally from Shreveport. They actually met on a cruise ship. My mom went on a trip with her family.
Wait a minute. They met on a cruise ship? Come on,
yeah,
I didn't know that.
My dad was working on that cruise ship, dancing with elderly women. That's how my mom met him. So, yeah.
That's a cool story, Blake.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to talk to your dad, man. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I know your dad's your biggest fan. I got to know your dad during recruiting, and I remember you going into your junior year, your dad called me and we hit it off and we talked a lot of ball. And I know your dad's a straight shooter. He really was proud of your baseball career in high school. You were one of the top baseball prospects coming out of high school. And then football equaled it, and it just kept growing, and man, just took over the baseball part. Tell everybody about how hard it was to pick football, because you had every D1 program offer you in baseball.
Yeah. No, it was really tough because I thought I was a baseball player growing up most of my life. So baseball was like kind of my main sport that I was into, and that's kind of where I got all the interest in from colleges and stuff like that. So going into my junior year, all I had was baseball offers from whoever you want to name had offered in baseball. So at that point, I kind of had it figured out. I was probably going to go play baseball, but something inside of me kept telling me I wanted to play football. And I don't know what it was, but it was like I was always seeking that one offer in football that I never had. And so I finally ended up getting it from Arizona State. And, once you get one offer, I mean, you're going to start it's going to multiply and you're going to get more offers. And so that's kind of what happened with that. It was kind of more West Coast schools in football. And then Baylor came late. I think Ole Miss came in the picture a little late. And USC came in the picture late. So it was baseball was kind of the sport that I was most into growing up. And then all of a sudden, football kind of became that sport for me.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have more of Blake Shapen, current starting quarterback for Baylor football team. We'll talk about Dave Aranda, too, get your thoughts on your coach. You've got a staff mostly from Louisiana. A lot of people don't realize that.
Yep, a lot of them.
Several guys from Louisiana at Baylor. We'll be back in just a moment.
Listen, whatever you're driving right now, Tommy Harvey wants it. Bring it in to Harvey Subaru, Lexus of Shreveport, Bossier City, or John Harvey Toyota. They're paying big bucks for all trades right now. They'll cut you a check right there. Tell them Lee sent you.
Welcome back. Lee Brecheen, your host of Sports Scouting Report. Our guest, Blake Shapen from Shreveport, Louisiana. played at Evangel Christian High School. At Baylor, quarterback, starter, won the job in spring. We're going to talk about how Blake started in the Big 12 championship game later in the show against Oklahoma State. That was a heck of a game. I want to get your thoughts on that game. I told you off the air, what a goal line stand in that game twice by your defense. And then your game was, man, you were in the zone. You were fearless. We'll talk about that in another segment. But in this segment, your coaching staff, Dave Aranda, everybody in Louisiana loves Dave Aranda because what he did at LSU, you know, at Wisconsin, he was the guru. The what do they call him? The mad scientist, draws up everything. And when you watch Baylor, I mean, and we're going to talk about your offense, but Blake, the defense that y'all had last year, you could tell Aranda's handprint was all over that on just calling all the right plays. Your guys were flying around. I mean, y'all look like the most physical defense in that league, over even Oklahoma, I think.
Yeah. I'd say, no, Coach Aranda obviously is a huge defensive mind in college football. He's a great head coach. I think he's taken more of the reins of being more of a head coach and a culture and building the right culture around our team. And Coach Ron Roberts has done like a great job with our defense. I mean, our defense last year was pretty old, and we had a lot of guys come back from it from the year before. So we had a lot of mature guys on the defense, and they knew what was going on, and they gelled really good together. So that's what made up our defense last year, and it was really fun to watch. I know offensively as a player, and whenever I got the chance to get in and play, and even seeing Gary kind of all year going through it, offensively, it was kind of just like, let's don't turn the ball over, and we'll always have a chance to win the football game, because that's how good our defense was. And so it was pretty awesome to have that backbone, you know, every game, and having that defense to depend on every game.
And then Ron Roberts, speaking of coaches, head coach at Southeastern, your offensive guy. What do you think of Ron Roberts? Really good coach.
Yeah. He doesn't coach me, obviously, but I love Coach Roberts. We have a good relationship. He's a funny guy. I've always loved him, and obviously he knows what he's doing defensively because of, you know, the things that we've done in the past since he's been here and his history of coaching in college. But he's a great dude, and he's awesome. So.
Yeah, I want to mention your guys, Jeff Grimes, another LSU former assistant, Brigham Young before Baylor. But what's it like being coached by Big Jeff Grimes, Mr. 6'6" offensive coordinator? Is he 6'7" or 6'6"? It's tall, huh?
Something like that. 6'6", 6'7". He's a tall guy for sure. He's a bigger guy. But Coach Grimes is awesome. His offense is great. I love his offense because it has everything in it. I mean, and the thing with us is we don't run a ton of different plays. We run a lot of the same plays and a lot of different looks and in a lot of different ways with a lot of different motions and things like that, and shifts and things like that. So I love Coach Grimes. He's been great to me ever since he's gotten here. The offense is great. So hopefully we can build on that this year and keep moving forward.
Take a break. When we come back, I want to talk to you about Baylor and the quarterback competition and how hard that was. And I mean, you become friends with these guys, like you said, Jerry Bohannon from Arkansas. And, you know, it's sad, you know, one guy wins, and if the other guy loses the job, obviously that guy wants to start. I know he moved on to South Florida. You're going to be starting this year. We'll talk about that. And also the pro prospects on Baylor's team, how happy you are from Petrie, your DB. That was the assassin, man. I thought he was incredible in the Sugar Bowl. And talk about the Sugar Bowl, just being able to actually sit in that game and watch, because Jerry had gotten hurt for you to play in the Big 12, and you did great. And then he came back, and what that was like for you. And now you're the starter again. But we're going to be back with more of Blake Shapen, quarterback at Baylor College in Waco, Texas. We'll be back.
If you need a paint job or repairs to your vehicle, go see Medine's Collision Center, located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana on Kincaid Avenue. The number to call is 357-7983. That's 357-7983. Your Baton Rouge Accident Advisors.
Welcome back, Lee Brecheen, your host. Our guest is Blake Shapen, the starting quarterback for Baylor Football team in Waco, Texas. Blake, you started in one of the biggest games at Baylor in a long time, man. This championship game of the Big 12. Y'all playing Oklahoma State. They were ranked high. It had been a long time since Baylor, won a championship game like that. And you're starting. What was that like for you to get that start? Because I know Jerry was hurt and you were the guy. I mean, you didn't have a ton of reps, but you coming in and I mean, you want to make the most of the situation, but were you nervous, or I mean, what was going on through your mind getting that start?
Well, I mean, it helped a lot that I had a couple games under my belt prior to that. Because, I mean, before those 2 games prior to the Big 12 championship, I mean, I didn't get much. Like, it was more of mop-up time and things like that. So, it was good to have those real reps before the Big 12. But, no, I'd say before the game, of course, like, before every game, you're going to have those butterfly nerves before every game. Just natural because you're about to play a football game, and especially the Big 12 championship. You're going to have some type of nerves. But I'd say I don't know what it was, but I felt this calm spirit about that day, and I don't know what it was, but it was just, I guess that's what happens when you feel real confident in your team, and you feel confident in the play, whatever's been put together by the coaching staff for you to go out and execute the game plans and stuff like that. So, and I felt really confident about our game plan. I felt confident about, I mean, we had everyone pretty much healthy that game. I mean, and so, of course, there's those natural butterflies before the game, but once that first play kicks off, you're kind of into the game and you're just ready to win that game. So,
There's a lot of fans there. It's not at home. It's a neutral site, turf field. And actually, you went up against the Shreveport DB, Bernard.
Yeah.
Who's now at LSU. What do you think of Bernard? I mean, he was their best DB, but I know you got him a few times throwing the ball. He's at LSU now. It's kind of crazy. He's at LSU now. So.
Yeah, I know it is. No, actually.
Former high school teammate.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, former high school teammate and friend. We were pretty tight in high school. So, no, I mean, I remember in that game, I think we threw a few balls on him, but I knew before when we were going into the game, like, Jark was a really good player. He was very good with his technique. He wasn't – I mean, Jark's not going to be a guy that's going to scare you with the crazy athleticism he has, but he's like a very technical guy. He's mechanical with everything that he does, and so he really doesn't screw up much. He's not gonna get in the wrong coverage. He's not gonna blow a coverage. He's always gonna be pretty consistent with everything he's doing. So, I mean, he didn't let any big plays on him. I remember, I think he had maybe like a PI, it was a post route I threw. I think he had a PI maybe, and I think I threw a couple slants underneath on him. But I mean, other than that, he was very good, and I knew that before the game that he was going to probably be very tough to throw on.
You were poised in that game, and it was very impressive that just 2 games prior you did well, but I mean, super poised. And I think Jace has pointed out since 2014, since y'all won a championship at the school. That's been a long time. In doing it last year, I was pulling for you, man. You got pulled for the Louisiana guys starting
For sure.
And those goal line stands were pretty stressful. It had to be stressful for you on the sideline, right? Because the game was tight, and then there was a goal line stand, and then late in the game, another goal line stand.
Yeah.
Defense, it's like 1 yard line, four attempts, I believe, both times. Your defense held. What was that like on the sideline trying to watch that?
I mean, it's kind of indescribable, but I remember I was sitting on the bench and all that was going on, and I was kind of just down there like almost like hanging out at one point. Like, it wasn't even everyone asked me like if I was nervous during that situation. Like, I really honestly, like, they were on the 1 yard line or the half yard line, but like it was crazy because our defense was that good to the point where it was like, dude, Petey's out there, Terrell's out there, JT Woods is out there. All these players are out there making plays, and I'm like, I mean, I feel like they're not going to score. And it was kind of crazy because it was like they're on the half-yard line. How do they not score? Well, crazy things happen in really big games like that too. So,
Yeah.
No, I mean, of course, I was kind of like a little nervous about it, but at the same time, I was pretty calm about the situation because I knew the type of players we had on the field at the time.
You were so calm. You were the MVP of the game. It's pretty calm.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a big deal, man. I mean, I don't think a Louisiana player has been the MVP of the Big 12 championship game. I need to go look that up, but you might be the first Louisiana guy to do that. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I want to brag on your teammates because before Randa got there, Baylor was good. And then he took it to the next level, as you know. But all these guys you start knowing the names like Petrie, your Smith, your running back. Now these guys are in the NFL. And it just goes to show you what Miranda's done developing these guys because nobody knew who they were prior to this year. But we'll talk about them. And then whatever you want to promote too. I know we got the NIL and I know you got a shirt, I heard, a T-shirt we want to promote for you.
Yeah.
I know all our Louisiana fans of Blake Shapen will be glad to probably help you out there and let you brag about it. I'm going to let you talk about the T-shirt and when we come back. And then all the Baylor guys we'll get the number of how many were drafted, but there was a good bit off your team drafted in the NFL. It should have had more.
Right.
More. So we'll be right back with more Blake Shapen.
Be sure to take your car and truck for all your tire needs to Treads and Care Tire Company located in Central. The number to call is 331-8144. Family owned and operated since 1971. That's Treads and Care Tire Company.
Welcome back. We got Blake Shapen as our guest, starting quarterback at Baylor University in Waco, Texas. Man, Baylor's on top of the world right now with Coach Aranda, Coach Grimes, Coach Roberts, Dennis Johnson. I want to mention to the LSU fans, he's the D-line coach from LSU, now at Baylor. It's the all Louisiana staff at Baylor, just about. And there's a couple of grads. We don't have the names that are also Louisiana natives that are on the staff as well. We're going to talk about your off-season training. First of all, Blake, I know you're reporting this coming week to Baylor. What's your goals and what have you been working on in off season to get ready here?
Just improving in every aspect that I can. There's a lot of things to look at from last year and the little time I did get to play and be able to improve on and whether it's footwork, whether it's getting better on the middle side of the game and learning our playbook better. There's a lot of different things that you can work on as a quarterback, and that's really what I've been working on. And I work over in Dallas most of the time. We've had this month off, so I've been able to go home and then come to Dallas a little bit. So that's kind of where I work out when we have this month off.
And I want to mention this, and this is accolades to you and your family, your dad, and your hard work. But I've been following Evangel High School. You know, it's quarterback U, as you know. You went there. But they had the top quarterback come out of Louisiana for like 10 years every year. Yeah. I mean, it goes back to obviously Josh Booty, Brock Berlin, who you know very well, works with your brother. Brent Rawls was a heck of a quarterback, went to Oklahoma. Both Durans were really good quarterbacks, Denny Duran's sons. John David Booty was a heck of a quarterback. The list goes on, and then you are the one that's also currently. But out of all the quarterbacks that have come out of Evangel, you have had more success in college than any of them. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Philip Dees was another one. Went to North Carolina, who's now at the school. But as far as college success, you were MVP of a championship game, and you've got a few years left on the resume. And proud of you because, like I said, your recruiting went down like the final 2 weeks of recruiting football. I remember when you were calling us last year, you were in Los Angeles going on a last-minute USC trip.
Yeah.
That you had one offer, Arizona State, and then they just bang, bang, bang. But
right.
Really proud of you. Really proud of what you've been able to do.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
But out of all the great quarterbacks, I mean, Josh Booty played pro baseball. He didn't go right away.
Yeah.
And then Brent Rawls didn't finish at Oklahoma. And I think Dees left North Carolina. And then Brock Berlin went from Florida to Miami, and it was just, he was one of the greats, all-time greats for me
Right.
there as well. But college-wise, you might have a chance to, and a lot of people don't understand how strong of an arm you have. I mean, I know
Yeah.
you play within what they want you to do at Baylor, and you can see the arm, but you've got a cannon.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, like, you can show at the end of the day, having like a strong arm and things like that, really, it's good to have. It's good to have and be able to make all the throws or whatever. But for me, like, I know personally for me, those were the throws I would make, but also I would miss the smaller throws, or I'd miss the flat route. And it would be like, why am I not making that throw? It's because I would lose focus on those throws because they're a lot easier throws. And you're like, oh, you're lackadaisical with your feet, you're lackadaisical with like your arm and stuff like that. So if anything, for what I've done is like just broken down the smaller throws. Because in high school, you could see it too. I would miss smaller throws just because I wasn't dialed into making the smaller throw.
Yeah.
That wasn't the throw everyone. That's not the cool throw everyone wanted to make. But those are the throws that Tom Brady makes his money off of.
Right. And Edelman was 500 catches for him. 5'8", who went to Kent State, had no D1 offers. How about that? You know,
that is crazy. I know.
I'm gonna mention off your teammates that went to the NFL and where they were. I know you're happy for them. Jalen Petrie, Houston Texans. He didn't have to go far. He should start day one, right, as a safety for them.
I would hope so. I would think so.
Tyquan Thornton, New England Patriots. He's with a good coach in Belichick. Not bad receiver, big guy, tall guy. JT Woods, you talked about. You like him a lot. He's with the Chargers. Not a bad team. Terrell Bernard, you're a linebacker, real good player with the Bills. Buffalo, man, I hope they make it finally. Tristan Ebner, heck of a running back for you. The Bears, man, they needed a running back.
Yeah.
And Barnes, the corner, is with Carolina. I like Carolina Panthers, great city in Charlotte. And then look, undrafted. I can't believe this. You were telling me this too. I am shocked. Abram Smith did not get drafted, but the Saints got him. Saints. So hey, good for the Louisiana people here.
Right.
I think he'll be a player for them. And then Javion McVay, DB, Rams, Raleigh, Texada, Green Bay Packers corner, Drew Estrada, Houston Texans. He didn't have to go far. And O-lineman, your blocking guy, Xavier Newman Johnson, goes to Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a lot of your O-line back too, right?
Right. Our whole line's coming back except for Xavier.
You have a T-shirt before we take a break. Tell everybody about your T-shirt we want to promote, because with NIL, I mean, you know, every kid's got something they can promote. But tell us about that.
So I have my own T-shirt, and I have a hoodie, a shirt, a crew neck shirt, all types of different things. So if you go to my link in my bio on Instagram, my name on Instagram is bshape8, and you can go in the link on my bio, click it, and the whole store will pull up.
Okay.
So you can buy your merch or whatever you want on there. So.
Well, I know they're going to be cool T-shirts. You got a cool T-shirt, cool chain on, so you got the bling, right? So you got talent, man, style. So you got to support Blake Shapen. If you're a Louisiana parent or kid, Louisiana's own, man, in Waco, Texas at Baylor. We're going to take a break. I want to get your thoughts about the conference and get your thoughts about Oklahoma, Texas leaving the conference. What's your thoughts on that? Because when they leave, you're still going to have eligibility. And what's it going to be like without those guys, or does it matter, or blah, blah, blah? And then you got TCU and all these tough teams. I want to get your thoughts on the league.
Okay.
How you think that measures up with the SEC? Because you went against them, so you know. We'll break. When we come back, we're going to be back with Blake Shapen with Baylor University football, quarterback for Baylor. We'll be right back.
Gros Savon Lodge, the true sportsman's paradise. Gros Savon Lodge has fresh and saltwater fishing, alligator hunting, waterfowl hunting, and eco tours located south of Lake Charles, Louisiana. Give them a call at 337-598-2357. That number to call again is 337-598-2357, and have the time of your life.
Welcome back. I really want to thank Blake Shapen we've got one more segment. This segment, I want to talk about the Big 12, Blake Shapen with Baylor University, the quarterback, played at Evangel Christian in Louisiana and Shreveport. Blake, I mean, in the South, obviously it's the SEC. You're in Texas. Y'all play Texas schools. Y'all play Iowa State. Y'all play TCU, Oklahoma State, Kansas State with Kansas. Soon to be no Oklahoma in Texas in about a year. Kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yep.
What's your thoughts on that when you think of that as a kid? You got 3 years left. If you do all three, what's it going to be like when those guys pull out and you got a couple of years left and there's no Oklahoma, no Texas?
Yeah. It's going to be kind of weird, especially since that's pretty normal. Or them leaving is kind of unnormal. But I will say that for me, it's not really going to change much just because your schedule, at the end of the day, it doesn't really affect like what you do because you're going to game plan for the certain team. It don't matter. But at the end of the day, it's going to kind of suck because OU and Texas are household names, and you're going to want to play against schools like that. So it's going to be different for sure. And I mean, how long have they been? I mean, they've been in the Big 12 forever, huh?
Yeah.
OU and Texas.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of crazy in itself, too.
Yeah. What do you think of your brother? Talk about your brother's stuff. And I want to give him some props because I know he's in the baseball world like you were in forever. But talk about the camps he does. I know Brock Berlin, former quarterback at Evangel's, working with your brother. And tell everybody how they maybe can help him. I know he's got prospects from Florida to California, Louisiana for baseball.
Yeah, well, Vaughn started off in Florida, and this is when he just got done playing baseball and stuff like that. So he's got his whole thing. He had his whole thing going on in Florida where he was just working with kids and stuff like that, making money. He started making travel ball teams, and it used to, I'm sure they're still out there, but he used to coach a team called the Florida Aces. And then he comes back here, and now he has his own facility where he has his own pitching instructor in there, and he does the hitting stuff, and they have kids feed through there every day. If you ask me, it's not even close. Who's the best instructor in town? It's definitely Vaughn. And it's not biased, but because I'd be the first one to tell you it's not Vaughn, but it is Vaughn. But and I think they have one of the best travel ball teams all the way up from ages from like 8 to 14. And so I know he's got one of the top teams in the country. So he has it going on over there for sure.
Anybody you want to do a shout out to, family or anything while you're doing this interview? I know your dad's going to see it, maybe your mom.
Yeah, I'll shout out my mom, my dad, really my whole family. They've been there for me since I was a little boy. So it means a lot for me to have a great support system behind me and care about what I'm doing every day and care about me for the right reasons and not just because of what I can do on the field, but what I can do off the field too. So I just want to shout them out. They've been there for me my whole life. So
I got to ask you this. I just thought about it. LSU, they say go Tigers. What do they say for Baylor?
Sick 'em Bears.
Sick 'em Bears. There you go,
Sick 'em
man.
Bears.
There you go. Blake Shapen, Baylor quarterback. Thank you for joining us, Blake. Good luck to you. I'm going to be watching every game, man. It's on TV.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for having me on.
Thank you. And before you go and hang up, go to our website. You can watch the show, lafootballmagazine.com. You can get the preview magazine that Blake was in at one time at Evangel to be out late August. If you're a parent watching, you want to pre-order, Texas people, welcome to do it. We're like Dave Campbell's football in Texas. We do Louisiana. And also go to YouTube, go to Podbean. That's our app. We're on all the apps, wherever you get your podcast. Check us out. Blake Shapen, good luck to you. We'll see everybody. This show plays on Monday. We'll see everybody on Wednesday.
Gage has served Louisiana for over 40 years. Let Gage create a custom tailored solution for your business and become your partner in technology. Give them a call today at 225-753-4243 and help your business get better connected with Gage.
Thanks for listening to the Sports Scouting Report podcast with Lee Brecheen.